Hello, Exiles. Have you ever wanted to see a mob explode all over your screen? Or maybe take 17 minutes per map with arthritis breathing down your neck as you pick up every piece of juicy loot that you can find? Well, this is the build for you. Crouching Tuna's Self-Ignite MF Chieftain. This build maps like a beast and tanks just about anything that you can throw at it. And I personally dropped a Headhunter within my first day of playing the build. I'll leave a link to Crouching Tuna's video in the description so you too can see how OP this build is with juice maps. With Tuna making this build popular, the Fulcrum prices have risen to insane new heights, and a lot of the items he uses in this build are going for pretty crazy prices right now as well. However, I have a secret. You don't need the Fulcrum or the 30 Divine Charms in order to play this build. Yep, you heard me correctly. The Self-Ignite variation of this build is mostly a quality of life. It's like if you decided to drive down the street to a gas station instead of bike or walk. Sure, it's faster, but it also means it's more expensive. I'm going to provide you an alternative that's not nearly as expensive and could very well be done for under 3 or 4 divines. And please keep in mind, this is not a build guide, I'm just providing an alternative to the concept of the same build idea. In my opinion, the biggest takeaways from Tuna's build are these two things. 1, the survivability, and 2, the Chieftain's explosions. These two things make the build able to run even the most juiced Wildwood mechanics. With that in mind, the biggest focal point that we use of Tuna's build is the Defiance of Destiny. Combining this with Petrified Blood and as much physical to elemental, preferably fire, as possible, we can become practically unkillable with capped chaos res and reduced critical damage. Here is a list of items for the Magic Find version of the build, along with the substitutes for the Fulcrum and the Charms. Little side note, you don't have to play the build as Magic Find. You can easily make the build feel or play better by just substituting the Magic Find items for better items or tankier items or items that deal more damage. Everything is pretty much the same as Tuna's build, except we are no longer using Self-Ignite as our clear. Instead, we use a high base damage ability like Detonate Dead and Desecrate to kill white mobs and proc our Chieftain Explode. Yes, it is a 2-button playstyle, but you can help the clunkiness with cast speed or try some sort of Poet's Pen Spellslinger setup to make it into a 1-button build. The Ignite Prolif and the AoE explosions should help make the build feel less clunky as well. You can follow a simple Detonate Dead build and just copy the support gems and mechanics here. Instead of the Fulcrum, we opt to use a 5C Scepter with cast speed and damage. You can also get a +1 level to all spell skill gems for just as cheap. And the Rise of the Phoenix gives us +5% to maximum fire res, and we use this instead of the 3 charms and the body armor corruption that Tuna showcased in his video. This, along with a level 23 Purity of Fire, sets us at an 85% max fire res, not including any additional max fire res you can get from the tree or anywhere else. I would recommend a +2 max fire res charm and a +3 max fire res in the tree that's already included in Tuna's original tree. There is some flexibility here, so just mess around with it until you're able to hit 90% max fire res. Everything else is essentially the same as Tuna's build. I put an estimated cost of about 279C at the bottom. Obviously this might go up or down depending on what you're buying and what you're not buying, but honestly 279 chaos sounds quite a bit better than 20 divines for the Fulcrum and 40 divines for the charm. In order to get the loot explosions, watch Tuna's video on his atlas and how to juice your maps. The TLDR is Wandering Path, Abyss, additional enemy projectiles, Beyond, and getting as much Wildwood juice as possible. Well everyone, I appreciate you watching this far, and good luck with your own loot explosions. As always, make sure to subscribe so you know when I post a video, and follow me over on Twitch as I'm live just about every single day. Goodbye, Exiles.